I personally feel like the Saints are heading into this season very under the radar. Like, I don't see the national media paying much, if any, attention to them at all. Of course, part of that reason is the Bucs being the favorite to win the NFC South. I'm here to say that, division winner or not, the Saints will be a very scary team to face this year. And if all goes well health-wise, they should be a scary playoff team as well. It's a bit weird to be touting a team that just lost one of the best head coaches in the league, but I'm doing it anyway, and I'm about to explain why. First off, Dennis Allen will take over as head coach. He's already built one of the best defenses in the league. That should have been clear on game day for the past several years, but if you want numbers, I got them from The Athletic. Alright, this is the rankings of NFL defenses' expected points added from the past 6 years. In 2016, Allen's first full year as coordinator, they had the 174th best defense of the last 6 years. Then last year, they had the 7th best defense of the last 6 years. I know his head coaching tenure with the Raiders stunk, but Allen did inherit a bad situation there. In New Orleans, things are more stable and the roster is far better. We're going to discuss just how talented this team is later in the video, but first I want to touch on Pete Carmichael, who will take over as offensive play caller. Carmichael, of course, has been the Saints coordinator forever, with Peyton normally calling plays, although Carmichael has called plays before during the Bountygate suspension and a few other times. He doesn't have the personality to ever be a head coach, but he's certainly proven himself as a coordinator and play caller for that matter. So even though Peyton is gone, I'm not really concerned about it because this franchise has tremendous continuity that, quite frankly, is rare to see in the NFL. The most important question for this offense is the performance of Jameis Winston. I named Winston as a breakout player in a video last summer, thinking he would be able to succeed with a dramatic rise in coaching quality from Bruce Arians to Sean Payton. And with what we saw, there were a lot of encouraging signs for that to happen. He had a 14 touchdown to 3 interception ratio last season before he went down, and he had a career best in PFF's big time throw percentages, along with his lowest turnover-worthy play rate ever. Most importantly, he ended up with a 5-2 record. There were some inaccurate throws here and there. It seemed like he struggled with the timing on some short throws, but overall we saw improvement in this system. He clearly has a strong arm and can complete some good-looking deep balls. There remains an injury concern with him recently tweaking his foot in practice, but he's supposed to recover quickly from that. I'm not necessarily expecting a Pro Bowl year for Winston, but I think he can limit his turnovers at this point in his career and help guide a talented team into the playoffs. Now, when we talk about the talent on this team, their biggest upgrade comes in the receiving department. Last year, the Saints didn't have a single receiver cross the 700-yard mark. I know part of the problem was the constant turnover at quarterback, but even going into last season, we knew there would be problems with that receiving core. Marquez Callaway ended up being their most productive target, so they traded up in the draft and snagged Chris Olave. If you ever had the chance to watch Olave at Ohio State, then you'd know he's coming to this league smooth as butter, with great balance and awareness of his routes. He should be a potential Rookie of the Year candidate. Shortly after the draft, Mickey Loomis then went and signed Jarvis Landry. He's going to be 30 this year and is coming off his worst season in the NFL due to only playing 12 games. But if you throw out last year, he's averaged over 1,000 yards a season in his career. I once read this line years ago about Landry, and it goes, "Jarvis Landry, you need 4 yards, he'll get you 6. You need 8 yards, he'll get you 6. That one has stuck with me every time I watch him play. If you're wondering, he's averaged 7.3 yards per target in his career, so I guess I shortchanged him a bit. But yeah, he's definitely a short to intermediate threat, and a consistent one too. With Olave attracting the deep ball, Landry should fit in well. And he also helps protect the offense in case Michael Thomas doesn't come back quite the same. Thomas did return to practice in July, and just last week he participated in 11-on-11s. Everything out of camp has been really positive. There's even reports saying he looked excellent during high-level practices. He hasn't played in a game since January 2020, so I don't want to hype him up too much. What we do know is that the last time he was fully healthy, he was setting the single-season reception record. So even if he returns and is half as good, it'll still be a major help for Winston and this offense. Now you have a brand new top 3 on the receiving depth chart. Massive upgrades all around. 2 veterans and a young, talented rookie. And there's still Callaway plus Deontay Harris, or Deontay Hardy his name is now, to provide proper depth. Tight end remains a bit of a hole, but maybe Taysom Hill can help inject some life into it. Of course, Alvin Kamara factors into the receiving game as well. There were times where Winston was feeding Kamara, then other times where it seemed like he kind of forgot about him. So maybe one of his goals for this year should be to remember you have a great bailout option on the check down. I guess that is when Kamara is playing, because we still don't know when a decision will be made on his suspension. I've got some pretty big concerns with the O-line, especially on the interior, and with Teron Armstead gone. That just adds another question mark. If it's not Winston holding the offense back, which I don't think it will be, it'll be the O-line. Moving on to defense, well, it's just a complete unit. You've got a top 10, maybe top 5 secondary in the league. Marshawn Lattimore is a top 5 corner. Paulson Adebo lines up opposite, and he showed promise last year as a rookie. I like his aggressive style, and it fits in well with the rest of this defense. Of course, they brought in Tyrann Mathieu, who isn't quite what he used to be, but he comes with great instincts and experience. If you have to lose Marcus Williams, Mathieu is as exciting a replacement as you can get, with him returning to New Orleans. Alongside him is Marcus May, who is certainly capable of producing at a high level as well. Up front, you start with Cam Jordan. Even though he's getting up there in age, I still consider him a top 10 edge rusher in the league. Marcus Davenport played great last year, but has struggled with injuries his whole career. He just returned to practice recently. And David Onyemata plus Shai Tuttle are solid pieces along the interior. At linebacker, Demario Davis has been a first or second team All-Pro for 3 years in a row now. And Pete Werner is an up-and-comer who put together a quality first season. For opposing quarterbacks, there's so much you have to worry about when facing this defense. Playmakers all over the field. It's really one of the best in the entire NFL. And with an upgraded offense, this team should be right in the thick of things in the NFC. They were above 500 last year with Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, and rookie Ian Book starting over half their games. As long as Winston doesn't revert back to 30 interception Winston, this team will be a scary one to face come January.